Yo, welcome back to Shotgun the Orcs podcast. It's your boy Tom hosting solo again this week. Today we welcome not one, not two, but three special guests on the show. It's C.Facts, C.O.N-Vers, and Bxrbarian, aka Last Elect. How are you doing, boys?
Yeah, good man.
Yeah,
good, bro.
Nice. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I know we've been chatting for a while, like sharing music and basically vibing off it, man. You boys are making moves, but you only just announced Last Elect as a collective last week with your, I guess, kind of debut track together. Who Are They? But your unofficial debut track, as with the three of you on, was We Make Craters, which, like its namesake, definitely did that. So, how did you boys all come to kind of link together?
I guess, Instagram, I remember seeing Bxrbarian do a little chatting thing, just randomly popped up on my feed. And me and Vers always share stuff together. Like, we're always like, oh, yeah, check out this. Like, what do you think of this? Blah, blah, blah. Standard, right? And I must have seen Bxrbarian. I thought, you know what? This kid's sick. And just reached out to him as you do. And then, like, kind of snowballed from there, really.
Yeah, man. It's become so simple. Like further to what we were saying before, there's this whole new age now. Everyone's like locked in pandemic shit. Like we're all just trying to figure out ways to make music. We can't get in a studio with new artists, you know. So yeah, it's definitely been a way where a lot of my collabs recently have come from this. Like people just messaging on Instagram going, "Oh, this is sick. Do you want to make a track?" And this one just came out of that, really.
Yeah.
So it's the same as always. It wasn't special at the time. Like it was just like some guys messaged me like, you know, do you want to do a track?
Bruv.
I'll do some music. But obviously, once the track started coming together, that was when we realized we might have to make more music.
I don't even think that was the first track, was it? I thought we'd like agreed on a next track, and then C.Facts sent this track over, and then both me and B just basically stopped what we were doing and jumped on that, and then
it was a different beat. It was a different beat and a different track first, but you know, these things happen. We've got a pretty simple process at this point already. That's just come out of that first experience of just Facts sends us a beat, says what have you got. Me and Vers compete over who can finish it and make a better verse to start with, and then by the time we're done, Facts has sent us another beat. We keep.
You know what? That's so true though, because like I swear we all keep each other just firing. Because like my main motivation is not what anyone else thinks; it's what these two think. It's literally like send them a beat, and I'm just waiting for those like little fire emojis. That's what I'm doing. Just waiting. And honestly, like the more they come with heat, the more I want to make sure my beats are fire. And I swear it's just feeding off each other. And that's why putting this together, the whole Last Elect thing, it just made sense because it just makes us better, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, before you formed Last Elect, you boys were doing your thing respectively as like Right to Speak. With you had obviously. Like Vers, we spoke a minute ago. You sent me like the Maniac track you did with Parky and the music video, and then you boys dropped the CV and kind of like up the ante with the kind of really, really like professionally shot video. The concept for anyone who hasn't seen it, these two guys just kind of roll up. He's got his MPC, just start like spitting flames in front of an interview panel. It's kind of akin to like 3 MCs and 1 DJ by the Beastie Boys. It really reminded me of that, except this is actually like better produced.
I'll take that with me.
I just remember hearing it and being like, holy shit, like this beat is really clean. The bars are really like clean and succinct. It was just like, and where the fuck did that come from? Do you know what I mean? It was just like, you guys know what you're doing when it comes to kind of curating and packaging music. It's all mixed and mastered. You've got the artwork, you've got the video ready to go, and it just kind of comes from nowhere. And it seems that you've kind of followed the same approach with this project as well. So is this something that you obviously think about this stuff quite intelligently before putting anything out there?
It's Facts.
Yeah, it's all facts.
Honestly, Facts. He's the evil mastermind behind all the stuff.
You just spit bars and he just
basically that's it. Yeah. And then be where I gotta be.
Up until the time that we did the Creators video, we'd not met in person. The only interaction we'd had was just Facts sending beats back and forth and just verses. And then getting to that video, it would literally we were just meeting up for the first time, filmed the video sort of 5 minutes after meeting. But but all of the stuff that came after, everything, all the art, the promotion, anything that happens is facts. We just stick on the music. He's an evil genius for that stuff.
First calls me Saruman, you know. But no, man, like, do you know what it was, right? Me and Vers have been doing this shit for time. Unfortunately, getting old nowadays, man. We've been doing this for a long time, and to be honest, it's just I'm glad we didn't release what we did back then, because it wasn't on the levels that people have been saying this is now. Like the glossiness of it, the sort of like the polished vibe. I think it has to be. You can't. There's too many people coming with average shit, and I never wanted to do that. I probably annoy quite a lot of people I work with, because it's got to be good. Like, I mean, you don't even want to know what we went through with this logo to come up with our logo, honestly, man. Like, but I don't want to settle. You know what I mean? Like, it's been too long. It's been too much going into it for me to settle. So it's got to be like, we've got to take it seriously. You've got to put everything into it. And I don't want to be sitting there thinking, oh, we could have done this better. We could have done that better. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So man. I think that's what where it comes from. And to be honest, what really got us back into it is mushrooms, to be honest. honestly, like me and Vers gave up this shit for like 10, 15 years. Like, we gave it up. Disillusioned with it all. Back then, it was like a handful of sick artists, but then there wasn't the platforms to get out there. It wasn't the same thing. But then I remember me and Vers literally got together, did mushrooms, and watching if you've ever seen that rhythm roulette thing.
Yeah, I've seen rhythm roulette.
So hard, man.
I was literally watching that, and actually one of my other boys was there, Jay, and he goes, watch next week he's gonna have an NPC. And he's just been sitting there, 'cause I was just mesmerised by it. Like, I was like, oh man, like, it's that itch like I needed to scratch. And the rest just like started falling into place, to be honest.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, Bxrbarian, and where the fuck did you come from? Because I mean, like, I remember, I remember like when there were like phases to this like lockdown stuff. Like when it first, obviously, when we were first in lockdown, it was just like toilet roll, and it was like, like COVID bars. And we ran like a little, like a week worth of people submitted bars, and you submitted yours, put it on our Instagram, and then like that was co-signed by Chester P. He was sharing it, and the next thing you know, it's just like, oh shit, yeah, this guy is crazy.
Yeah, man, thank you. It's been Chester. It's been largely Chester has been like the reasoning for anyone having a fucking clue who I am. It's just come straight out of, like, I was doing this stuff for a while studying music and stuff at uni. And just writing bars, not taking it that seriously. And then I finished uni and just didn't want to do classical music anymore. I was just bored of it, you know. So I started.
Rewind me. Classical music. No.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Sorry, I just forget about this stuff. So yeah. So the quick story was, I was fostered when I was a little kid, and after bouncing around a bunch of foster homes, one of my foster parents was just really into classical music, and I asked, after this guy come to my school and played the clarinet, can I have lessons? He played like Simpsons and Star Wars and shit. And I was like, that's gassed. You know, I was 8, 9. So the next year I started having group lessons on that, and I just got stuck to it. It was like, that's where music as an escape first started for me. And I'd get up at like 5 a.m. and practice for hours and shit, like at 10 years old. It was weird. Like, I was obsessed with it. And I did that throughout school, college, sixth form. And then I went to music conservatoire and studied clarinet performance for 4 years and finished my undergrad. And it was just in that all that process of doing my degree that I just realized how limiting that genre of music was, you know? Like, I wanted to perform. That was my whole thing. And I just felt limited. Like, I couldn't actually say what I wanted to say. So I started just releasing all the bars I've been writing forever. And yeah, a lot of it is just Instagram freestyles. Various people just hit me up with Instagram freestyles. And then, yeah, Chess saw the post on your thing, and it just sort of went from there.
That's mad, man. It's sick though that you have that kind of background and appreciation for, like multiple genres of music. Because I mean, hip hop is effectively like an amalgamation of a lot of things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Exactly. So it seems like your kind of destiny was written for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. When I was a kid, before the whole foster thing, my mum's used to play me just super old, like Eminem stuff and Wu-Tang, like DMX, Redman, all that shit. So like, I was sort of on old, like golden era hip hop way before classical music even. and so that was always there. And then I mean the skills you learn from learning instruments are valuable, obviously, but more of it's just about caring about the music. Like this whole genre is super underrepresented, and classical music. I went to a uni where everyone was there talking about classical music. It's just like I couldn't relate to anyone at all. And then I started rapping online, and suddenly I can talk to people about something I actually give a fuck talking about, you know?
I hear that, man.
And just say what I want to say. So yeah, it's liberating.
On like a slight tangent, you mentioned DMX. Did anyone watch the DMX versus Snoop battle?
I couldn't bring myself to watch it, you know, and now I'm vexed that I didn't, because apparently it was all right.
And I watched it. I couldn't believe how old DMX looks.
Oh man! To be fair, he's looking relatively healthy compared to what he was like
That's
a few years ago.
Yeah, but still, like looking old though. Like, when did that happen? I swear, like I can remember just a few weeks. Like, well, obviously weren't weeks ago, but like a little while ago, and like Rough Riders can't have been that long ago, surely.
Man, it was fucking crazy. I think Snoop probably just kind of had it from a overall up togetherness. He just had it together. Do you know what I mean? Even though like obviously DMX's catalogue of music you might appreciate more, but and the intensity was still really funny though from DMX. Like he started off with like a prayer before he did it, and it's just like he anything he does is just sounds fucking funny because of that like rough delivery. Do you know what I mean?
It's true. He's definitely got. I'd say DMX has definitely got a better catalogue though. Surely, Snoop's one album and a few Dre songs. No.
Yeah, Snoop's synonymous though, isn't he? Like Snoop's one of those guys that's just synonymous. You ask non-hip hop heads about hip hop, and he's one of those people that just comes up. But DMX's catalogue is kind of unfuckable.
I'd say it's a good way to sum it up. Snoop Dogg is kind of like, I mean, obviously to your Verse's point, known for like the Dre albums and stuff. However, he is kind of still a bit of a guilty pleasure. Even some of his like later albums, you'll listen to and be like, you know what, I still fuck with that. Like, it's more. He has the
only advert on television I don't skip as well.
Is that Just Eat one?
Just Eat.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh yeah.
You know, my main man glide by on my fried rice. Bars.
He's like Nicolas Cage, man. He's like Nicolas Cage. He just says yes to everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Just imagine him just being stoned, just being like, fuck it, I'll do that.
Sure. Yeah, it's true, man.
Having said that, look,
Snoop's a legend.
Doggy Style's top 5 album.
Yeah,
Doggy Style is and Rough Riders Anthem is top 5 tunes for me.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. You got top 5 in the album wise. I mean, that album is from start to finish. Me and Verse actually saw Snoop live. We were lucky enough to see him live at Lovebox, and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, man. I've seen him live a couple of times, and he's like, even now he's old, he still kind of brings the energy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's an entertainer. He's a character. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. That's exactly it.
So obviously, like you guys, is like a bit of an age gap. Like Verse and Facts, you've been in the game for a while, and just kind of surfaced again with the new kind of, I guess, technology and platform available now.
Yeah.
So when you were first getting into hip hop, who were the guys that you were listening to?
Jess, Task Force, Clash on the Car,
all the classics.
I mean, like Kaiser,
man, Terra Firma,
man,
Skinny Man, I mean, all of that shit. To me, for me, it was all about like drum and bass and hip hop from back then, and man, like Jess is still like lyrically, man, just blows my mind. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, to be honest, like you obviously heard me rap now, but one of the big reasons I don't rap is because I listen to some of them heads, and I was just like, do you know what? I'm never going to be them levels. Whereas producing wise, I think I can be, or at least, or I can get closer. Whereas like when I'm rapping, like I couldn't do it, and that's like, but them mans are too good, and that's what always haunted me. And it's like I mentioned to you earlier, I was like, it's not fair. I'm sandwiched in between these two guys on that track. It's not fair, man. It's like I'm like the ugly mate. Like, you know, like when you got a big group of chicks and they always got that ugly mate there to make the others look better. That's me rapping on the track with them, man.
Oh man. You're just being modest, man. Come on.
No, man. I said to the boy, I'll do 1 track per album or a bonus track here and there. And I've got lyric books for days, man. But nah, I can't be doing it, man. I'm not good enough. So leave it to these mans, and I just love making beats and DJing.
Yeah. I think back then though, it was unless you were proper in the know, like when you're first, like for me, when I first started listening to like UK hip hop, it was only a handful of people, if you weren't really in the know, that you could sort of listen to. Do you know what I mean? And they were, yeah, like Task Force. And then you sort of, the more you start getting into it, you start sort of finding out like Cashmere's and like Michael Parkinson, and you start going down different avenues with it. But whereas like now, obviously, the you know, the platforms are just crazy. Like everything's downloads and digitals and stuff. So back then, it was like, I think it was more of a shock to the system listening to those people, like coming from just listening to like classic US rap and stuff, like where, you know, they sort of follow a theme generally. You get the odd standout, and then like suddenly you're listening to Jest and you're like, holy shit, man. It's like didn't even know people were spitting about the things that they were spitting about and stuff. And like I think once we like properly got into that, it was just, it sort of made it almost dumbed down the US stuff for me, you know. It was just like, right, it was just like inspiring, but at the same time I was like, shit, man, we're never going to be able to like do that sort of thing or hit them levels. And I think that's why, part of the reason why we stopped for so long as well. It was just, it got to the point where we weren't doing things or making the music that we wanted to be making or felt like we should be. And then it just kind of,
life, innit?
Yeah, just life and stuff, really. And just like, yeah, that was it. It just sort of came to a bit of a grinding halt. And then, yeah, like it just, when it all started again, it just felt so like fluid. It was like proper natural. And I think because it felt like that, and like we'd sort of almost taken the pressure off ourselves, like we're making stuff that we always wanted to make but couldn't back in the day, and it's just sort of happening so much like easier as well, you know.
Oh, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Like I never had, for example, I never had the P to buy half the equipment I wanted. So I was always like, but like I was always getting like trying to get a crack of Fruity Loops or this piece of software and that, and it was just never like working. Whereas like at least now I can buy this, like buy a proper like Akai and like have all my techniques set up and like I can sample properly and all of that sort of shit. But just going back to like what we got started on was a lot. Like for me, it was always like particular tunes, like Kalashnikov Murder, for example. I mean, I probably listened to that tune and that whole album in the thousands of times. Like no kidding. Like that Harry Love beat, like haunts me to this day. Like it is so fucking good. And then it was like Witness by Roots Maneuver as well. That tune, like
that album was crazy.
That album was amazing. Crazy, yeah, exactly, man. So good. Like, and it was just the stuff like that, man. There's just, and you know what? I find that even like it's getting to the point in UK rap where you're like, oh, like the good old days, because like obviously you've got like the likes of High Focus, Blah Records, Potent Funk. They're all doing bits and they're all smashing it. I mean, nowadays I absolutely love like the likes of Dirty Dyke and that, but there was still something even back then, like Jess albums, like were just so raw, and I don't know, I can't even put my finger on it, but we've even like moving on to an era where I can sort of look at almost it's getting to the point of old school UK hip hop, never mind US. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I hear that. I mean, if you think about those early Jess records, Task Force, it's all like 20,
music from
20
the
years
corner,
old, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
mad.
He's crazy.
Council of State of Mind. Like,
what track?
I mean,
well, it's just a travesty that he hasn't made a follow-up album. Do you know what I mean? But I guess again, he's Skinny Man. He's doing his thing. It's just kind of. I think,
man, he showed us some love as well, and I was like, "Fucking hell, that's Skinny Man."
That was crazy.
Like showing us some, like that's the sort of thing that still like I can't get my head around. These are the guys that, like, I mean, I chatted to him a couple of times in Chip Shop. Actually, it's so safe. Safe. It's unbelievable, man. And they're the sort of things I still can't get my head around. Like just seeing like Chester P post one of our tracks. It's like, what? How's this happening? How's this happening?
It's all part of the plan, though. It's all part of the
plan. yeah, for real. The voice of reason.
All this, because all this music, like this whole conversation about our inspirations, that's what built the whole Last Elect sound, the whole point of it, the name, everything, it all comes from that, because it's built on the shoulders of this incredible stuff that come before that I don't think any of us feel got enough love at the time. Like Chester, we meeting up with Chess, you know, he walked up to us in Woolwich, and me and Verse were stood there, and he went up to take a phone call, and we both were just talking like, how the fuck can Chester P just wander around and no one give a shit? Like, no one acknowledge it at all.
Yeah, mad.
You know?
No one even knows who he is.
People,
like
people who are that level of pillar in the States can't walk anywhere.
Yeah.
At all. So, yeah, I think it's important to us to put a light and a shine on all that stuff that inspired us.
100%, man.
That UK sound. We're talking about the stuff that I think pretty much everyone here could feel, you know?
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, it's like UK hip hop's just so small, like relatively in the grand scheme of music.
Yeah.
And that says it all. Like one of like the greatest rappers to come from this country can just walk around unnoticed, and that's probably a good thing for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Probably,
he loves
probably
it.
exactly what he wants. But yeah, that's how kind of it's just a very. It's a small country. It's a small scene ultimately, and I think the time, and you kind of touched upon it. Obviously, like it's older, it's rawer. It came with a time where it was very much not necessarily emulating America in terms of like what they were doing lyrically, but kind of sonically, that kind of boom bap sound and everything that spawned from it. Yeah. And it was before grime and all of those other kind of offshoots, kind of trajectory, went off in that trajectory. So it kind of. A lot of those artists kind of missed the boat in terms of exposure, and it wasn't anyone's fault. It was just completely, it was just timing. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think what you're saying is right. It's important to now people have that kind of, the means to shine a light and pay homage to some of these people.
Yeah.
And it's often people who lay the foundation for scenes that get kind of stood on and left behind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the unfortunate reality of things.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, the side of UK music that got popular recently isn't about the same stuff that we're talking about. But as like Verse and Facts have said, the technology is different now. Like you can walk into any house and with fairly little make tracks,
Yeah.
And that's that same stuff. Like that's people. We're not talking about $100 million cars and fucking the finest bitches you've ever seen and all this, this is just like it's 3 blokes from Britain, like it's real life, And I don't know. I don't necessarily feel that represented by what I see from our side of the pond hitting the charts that everyone's vibing with, because it's people aren't talking about real life here, and it's become to a point now where we can make this UK hip hop and it's established. We're not trying to be anything the US was or is anymore. Like this sounds established. We've got legends that have been around for 20 years. So we just see. I think we just see this as the progression of that. It's just more people following that path because there's still a lot of stuff to be talking about and great music to be made with that sound.
Yeah, I think the word you used, like vibe, was interesting because I think that's ultimately what it is, right? It's music hit the charts. Like I think that kind of music's more tuned for people who don't necessarily dip into the music that heavily. It's kind of, if you're just content listening to whatever, I don't think people are really
background noise.
And it's not something I can relate to.
Was never about that. Like
hip hop never was about that.
No, exactly.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah.
It's like I get it. I get it. You wanna, for a lot of these guys, these young dudes. Like there's a bunch of guys younger than me when they're having their millions right now. That's great for them, but the culture and the things they're talking about and what they glorify, what they push forward as a lifestyle, it doesn't have any longevity to their position. There's a lot of people, like we've said, the UK, we haven't had anyone yet who's really like just blown the fuck up, disappeared, gone global. Like everyone's super, we've got Ed Sheeran, but Stormzy tried to do it.
I suppose Dizzy and Ocean Wisdom are like Ocean Wisdom as well. Like
Ocean Wisdom's done it, but then again, Ocean Wisdom's got like the sickest guys working with him, the sickest people. But again, it's not the people that are getting their shine. Like it's sick having Method Man on a track. That's like a dream, but people aren't fucking with it. I've showed that track to I've showed a bunch of those like Ocean Wisdom, High Focus boys with some of the old school like guys from the States and. People, I've never seen this. When did this happen? because the stuff that's in the charts at the moment, it's all, party music.
Don't even get me started,
vibes and party music. It's kind of my hope, though, that after all this shit we're going through now, some people are definitely still going to need that party music, but some people are going to want to actually talk about it,
That's why I love the UK scene, though, because to be honest, like, there's a lot of people that just, I mean, the amount of people that have like messaged me who are like, just, oh man, I love that boom bap vibe. Like, there's not enough of it. I love what, like, all it's that sort of feedback. And that's just like, I mean, just mad motivating, because I can't make music that I don't love. And I wouldn't do. Like, that's just me. I'm like a proper snob when it comes to it. I'm a musical snob. If you tell me when I ask you what music you like, and you say, oh yeah, I listen to a bit of everything, you're not for me.
Sorry, mate.
Honestly.
But no, I hear that, man. I hear that.
Right.
I think with the whole like boom bap thing, and I was gonna say, like, you guys kind of unashamedly, that is what you are. It's like boom bap, but it's done really, really well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think what I said before about kind of UK hip hop being kind of derivative from US hip hop originally. So it's with that boom bap sound. When boom bap and when hip hop first kind of came through, in New York, they were just using the technology available for them at the time. So naturally it's going to kind of progress and evolve, but then you can also kind of focus on that specific sound and progress that with the technology you have now. Do you know what I mean? So you don't necessarily have to.
Spot on analysis.
I think you just make the music you want to make ultimately. Do you know what I mean? There's kind of room for everything. Because I fuck with a lot of other kind of offshoots. I fucking love grime. I like drill. I like it all, man. Do you know what I mean? I think there's room for all of it. But I think as long as you're being kind of, true to yourself and what you're making, then why should you fuck with anything else besides boom bap? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. We listen outside of it as well. Like, a lot of the music I make on my ones separately from the last elect is not boom bap. Like, it started that way. But it because for the same reasons that we've said, boom bap isn't necessarily what's in the charts. A man's trying to pay the bills as well. Like, I want to have music. Like, I'm gonna make music that I have love for, that I respect, that I enjoy first and foremost. But I don't see it as a limitation that because we've said we make boom bap, we can only ever make boom bap. I just see it as right now we make sick boom bap. Find me someone else. Find me someone else making what we're making. But also, if I get sent a crazy trap beat that is just hard, and I can go off on it, then I'm going to do that and drop it. If I get sent a crazy drill beat, then I'm going to do that and drop it. Just because
your single, Plug, was kind of on that kind of vibe, wasn't it?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's not. I don't even know what genre that track is. I linked up with a guy, Monokey. Shout out my brother. And yeah, he started sending me all this stuff, and it's free of a genre. Like, this is just, it's a hip hop inspired sound. We're still using drum breaks and samples and stuff, but past that, it doesn't need a new label. Like, I'm not making a new type of sound entirely. I'm just not that fussed about what you want to call it. And I think that applies to all our music. A lot of it is traditionally boom bap, but if it isn't, it isn't. People should just expect us to be dropping stuff that we think is just fucking hard. That's the whole purview. Just, we want to just drop music that we think is fucking hard. That was
straight up creators, man. Straight up creators.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
That's my first love, is like dirty, proper, hard hip hop. But I'm like, but I'm making drum and bass in the background. I'm making double time. I'm making like soul and disco, bro. But I just gotta love that shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't just like put together a little sort of I don't know. There's no blueprint to it. It just happens, and it's a great. Whereas I think there's too much out there, which is just, we'll take this little blueprint and we'll just churn it out and just and just get this type of rapping on it, and this type of kick, this type of snare, this type of pattern, and put it all together. And there's too much of that, man. That sort of like those fresh ideas and creativity, even if it's going back to something that was like us from the 90s, it's still like we're trying to put our own spin on it.
Yeah, man, that's important. I mean, speaking of like you boys coming through, was C.Facts and C.O.N-Vers always your names when you started out? Because obviously older heads will remember teletext. So like, C.Facts is a dope name. But did you boys have like rap names before?
We did, man. Like, and we had like basically we must have started off tagging, like graphing up and shit. And like I had about 17 different names back then. Like trying to pick the one.
It's all about the aliases.
Indecisive. It's just indecisive.
Yeah, probably. But all my boys, all my boys call me Wisp. Like because my old rap name used to be Whisper because I was always quite quiet on the mic. So I used to call me Whisper or Wisp. So that's where that came from.
Not a good start, is it? Like, yeah, man's quiet on the mic.
no, exactly, yeah. But then, I don't know. I can't even remember. One day I was just thought of it, and I think I mentioned it to Vers, and he was like, "Yeah, that's heavy." And rest. And then I can come up with like about 7 different reasons I'm called C.Facts and try and like say, yeah, it's just because of this, that, and that. It's not really. It's kind of just happened like that.
Yeah.
Now you're getting robbed for your image.
Vers. Yeah, straight. Yeah, no, I've just been Vers, to be honest. And then I think Facts said to me, it needs to be different, bro. You can't just be Vers. Like, it needs to be a bit standout. So that's, then the C.O.N just got dropped on, really. That was it. Again, there's no like sick story to why it's C.O.N. It's just like, that works. Let me do that. But yeah, it's just always been Vers. Like you said, it's hard for me not to call him Wisp because I've had to change since us 3 are all in like these regular chats and stuff. I can't be calling him Wisp because BX just gets mad baffled. Yeah, exactly. Like when we're going back and forth, I'm like Wisp rare, and BX is getting baffled. He's like, "What is going on, bro?"
Than I got told.
Who are you talking to? So yeah, after like however long I called him that, I'm now trying to call him Facts. But yeah, man, it's just it's always been that. It's always been right to speak as well. Initially, like we've had that going since back in the day. And that's it really. And then like obviously this nice coupling came together. And it was just like we need to sort of try and put a title on this because we're obviously going to do more than just one track. So and then that started basically a week and a half long, but actually about a month and a half long battle as to what the name was going to be, what the logo was going to be. The group broke up and got back together about 10 times. It was a madness.
About to have a big old fight, MMA rules. Get his ass whipped.
I don't want to fuck man up there. I don't want to hurt anyone.
I already told him it's an Imanari roll. Gonna get him with the Omo platter of 1st round submissions.
Was there a
no? We were having this conversation
to speak of as well in the mix or not?
Yeah, no, we were good on the girlfriend. Luckily, I do. Funny enough, I call my missus that though. Like I'll be making a beat and it'll be getting quite late. She goes, "Oh, baby, you're gonna come and like chill for." I always call her Yoko, and she gets so vexed. But, funnily enough, going back to the names thing is the real reason like me and Vers's track is called the CV. Everyone obviously thinks that was the concept of the video and whatever, but because it was our first track, it's actually our name, C.Facts and C.O.N-Vers CV, was the real reason like we came up with that, and we got all this. Got all these like plans for doing shit around that, but yeah, man, like it's funny with the names. Like we were talking like when we first got on the Sky, man, like you kind of I don't even know whether to like introduce myself as like my real name, like C.Facts, like it's just weird, man.
Yeah,
you gotta get used to it, man. You gotta get used to it.
Yeah. I really don't have that problem, but then again, I haven't changed the name. Like I didn't have a fucking rap name because I didn't need it. Like there was a long time when I was just Daryl writing stuff to myself, help with what's up there or whatever the case may be, and then when it got to choosing the name, much like probably was part of the problem with the logo and the name for this, I was just like, I'm not done until I'm done. I'm not going to start releasing anything under any name until I'm fucking done. And when I found it, and that was it. So there's no changes.
Yeah.
I think you've just got to be comfortable with it. Like a lot of people that I've spoken to in this industry find it weird splitting themselves between their artist and that identity and themselves and how they should do business and stuff. I just think it's, you know, it's you. If as long as you pick that identity as an artist, that is just you. You never have to split yourself across anything. You have to be anything you're not, you know.
Unless it's like an intentional creative decision.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like an alias, split personality, you know, like different kind of persona per different, that kind of stuff. Exactly. But I hear you, man. I know exactly what you mean. But I think, do you boys think that it's been a bit surreal? But you've obviously met each other during lockdown and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously a big part of hip hop is performing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So that's going to be like hopefully on the cards for you guys in the future.
Yeah,
definitely.
Is it something you've kind of thought about already?
Yeah,
man, for real.
That's what we're thinking about, man. All this music's for that. Like the reason we were saying, the reason Creators was the first one rather than the track that Facts sent us first was just because after about 30 seconds of writing to it, I think everyone knew that was going to be the one that would go off better in a room, you know?
Yeah.
Like this, much 100%. The same as with the content and the intention and the sound, like being effectively old school. The other shit's the same. Like we're not all in love with the fact that music's no longer a physical thing. Like we don't all adore fucking streaming generation or whatever. I would rather turn up to a show, go on radio, like actually fucking rap, actually perform what I'm doing, than, you know, just put out a bunch of recorded stuff all the time over the internet. So hopefully as soon as that's possible or plausible, we'll be among the first to be trying to do that.
And that's why the videos have been like proper enjoyable as well, because obviously it's just all chatting. It's all like WhatsApp. We're like sending each other voice notes or like WeTransfers and this, that, and the other, and then it goes up on the socials. And then so the videos are the only time really we get to like proper like socially interact and like catch like a good vibe off each other and stuff, especially as like the day goes on filming and that. So you can we can see just by doing that as well that, you know, as and when we hopefully get to do this out, it's gonna be sick. I think that's what we're all like sort of looking forward to as well.
Yeah, it's the main aim, really.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I love raving. To be on the other side of it is a dream, bruv. It's a dream. That's what I'm doing it for, man. Like, I can't wait to play out. Just to, like, but obviously it's been a bit mad where we've been all on lockdown and whatever.
Yeah,
it's mad because I feel like with B, I've known him for fucking years now. That's the mad thing. Like the amount we've spoken in like quite a short time, and like just exchange texts have just been creasing, and we're at the point we're just catching jokes and like taking the piss out of it. It's like it's like we've been friends for years. It's mad. And to be able to experience playing out with these boys is just literally like everything to me. And like to the point where I'm looking at putting on my own night at the moment, my own little hip hop night. I'm currently like making the moves to like do that, just to make sure like fuck waiting to get invited by someone else. I'm just gonna do it myself.
But whilst we're on it, fucking book us, because you know,
because we'll tear up your fucking.
Everyone's seeing this. Just give us a call. Cool Facts. He's behind the business in that.
Yeah.
It's ready, man. Like it's ready. We get to the video shoots. It gets to the point where we're all spitting each other's bars already. We know what's coming. We agree on the choices musically fairly quickly. It's easy. It's an easy process.
Music's the easiest bit.
We're just ready to get it out there, show everyone what we got, you know.
Oh man, it's like nice to hear that you all like so kind of civil and easy going with it, because you know you get a lot of fucking divas in this game. Do you know what I mean?
Everybody think it's about them. That's the problem. That's the thing. This shit's about the music. We made it about the music. We made the music first, you know. And it's gonna stay that way. Like we're just channels for that, trying to give it to everyone. But you know,
and also first. like Fact said as well. I couldn't tell you like a single time he's sent us a beat and we've been like, can you send us a next one? Like every time he sends one, like it's normally B that comes back with like 16 straight away on a voice note before I've even had a chance to listen to it. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, this is not even fair, man. It's not...
Oh, so sleep. That's it.
Yeah.
And then
the young whippersnapper, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. All the time, bro. I'll wake up like early doors in the morning, and there's been like 25 messages between these two, like going on to like 4 a.m. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on, bro? Like, it's madness around here. Like, B sent like about 232s. There's about 5 new tunes, and I'm like, I've just woken up. I was like, this is not an ideal start to the day, starting so far behind. But it's but it fuels it though. It's good, man. It's like
he's fucking modest though, man. He's modest. Like yesterday, I was like chasing these boys up for a few beats, just saying, "Oh look, this is," and they both, "Oh no, I've already written to one of those." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? How have you written to all?" And that's why I can't rap, man. I couldn't rap. It would take me the same amount of time to write to one of them as they've done about 7 tunes.
Hence, one track a project.
Yeah,
that's the one he does. Whilst we're doing
the real reason though is because I can't remember fuck all. My memory is shit. So even on the video shoot, these boys will tell you, I always get pissed on the video shoot. I get drunk. That's my thing. That's my thing. But I can't remember any of the lyrics, so I have to do literally like take after take, trying to just remember one little bit. It's poor, but
it is what it is.
And
so I'll just stick to this.
So Chester P met you for the video shoot and gave you a little tour about some of the spots.
Yeah,
it was mad. That was a madness.
Never thought I said to these boys, if you'd have told me like 5 years ago or 10 years or whenever that one day I'd be shooting a music video and Chester P would be my tour guide, taking me around the sickest spots, showing me like I would have said, "Oh, you're fucking taking the piss." It was mad.
Just so safe, honestly, though, man. Just spent like, I don't know how long we're filming for, 4 or 5 hours maybe, but yeah, just there for like the whole thing. Like, I thought maybe he was just gonna, because he was on his bike, because he's doing like mad miles on his bike at the moment. Yeah. He was I thought he was just gonna take us to this one spot because we had a super loose concept of what we were gonna do, and I thought he was just gonna take us to this one spot and then be like, all right, like enjoy. Yeah. And 4 or 5 hours later, he's still there chilling with us. So
we're about 5 miles away from the first spot.
at least 5 miles away. Like
my feet were
the whole way
me.
there and then walk the whole way back during the shoot.
I was gonna get an Uber back to the car. Yeah, it was but yeah, it was sick, man. Just so safe, just so like just super humble, just happy to be sort of there, and like I think he enjoyed the track as well, so that was nice to know. But yeah, man, just crazy. Like again,
and when you have Chester P in the background,
I mean,
when you have Chester P in the background,
well.
Literally mad.
Like, a lot of the stuff he's saying is insane. Like, he's that guy who you have a conversation with, and it's like 1 in every 3 sentences feel like he just like blew your fucking mind with some shit you just couldn't have thought of on your own.
Yeah,
man.
Any hints of you guys making music together going forwards?
Oh,
yeah, we got some stuff.
We got to make some stuff happen and get it all sorted.
I've got some stuff with Chess. Me and Vers have got what even? I'm not actually sure. To be honest, that's one thing with Chess. He's amazing at communicating with his like head, mouth, eyes, actually speaking. But like, I'll text him and then he'll text me back a day or 2 later about something else and it'll just get forgotten. So I'm super confused. We got loads of music in the works. Don't be worried about it. I have no idea what's coming when or what's first. But there's definitely music coming.
Yeah, that's sick, man. That's exciting, man. That's exciting.
We've got quite a lot of collabs on, actually, to be fair. Like, quite a lot of shit, man. Like, to be honest, I'm pretty excited, man. We have got quite a lot of stuff just ready to like start dropping sequentially. It's going to be quite exciting over the next few months.
Yeah. The only reason it hasn't been already a project, I reckon, is just because the response to the first stuff caught us a little bit off guard with creators. Facts was saying to us before we dropped it, 5K first week, first 2 weeks, we'll do it. And I was like there with my 600 views on Spotify all time or on SoundCloud all time. Like, yeah, sure. Okay, bro. No problem. But people seem to like the music. And as long as that's the case, like, we're going to keep churning it out. We've got so much already made and it's still new tracks every day. And I think it was yesterday, Facts, he mentioned, he sent us, what was it, 8, 9, 10 tracks that we were ready for the project. How many of these have you written on? And then when we both said, oh yeah, I've written all of those, he sent us another beat or 2. He sent me 5 beats. Like, he just sent me like 5 beats. Like, oh yeah, me and Verse have used, we've got like 70 tracks, however many million tracks for Right to Speak that we haven't released. I can't keep sending in beats. It's a problem. Have some of these. So yeah, like there's definitely it's a crazy time. Like a lot of people are locked away doing nothing.
Yeah,
that's not us. That could never be me.
Prolific beat maker, man. But I mean, speaking of which, Verse, you recently dropped your Way Too Patient EP with Michael Parkinson. Speaking of prolific producers,
man.
Yeah, so obviously you guys have obviously worked together before then. That's a fucking really, really sick little EP, man. I really felt it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's just it's all part of the surrealness, really, man. Like when we started sort of getting back into it, like started sort of connecting with people, and it's like, oh shit, like Parky's just like making beats. You can just buy a beat off fucking Michael Parkinson. I was like, that is crazy. So I was like, let me get a couple of beats. So I got a couple of beats, and I was just like, I got a Parky beat in it, and so then started writing to them. And then like me and sort of Parky just started chatting. And I started sending him a few things that I'd done over his beats. And then it just sort of took shape from there, really. I was just like working on it in the background. Again, just to sort of keep like the creative stuff flowing, like obviously me and Facts have always been working on shit, but like with the Parky beats, it sort of brought a different side out of the writing and that. And I said to him, look, I've got the EP pretty much ready to go. And I'll send it over to you if you want to check it out. He's like, yeah, send it over to me. Then in the process, I got Maniacs off him, and I think I got it, recorded it, and sent it back to him within like 2 days. And he was like, yeah, he was super gassed when he heard it. And then I contacted you and shit. And then, that got him excited, and he basically rang me. It was only ever going to be like a 4 or 5 track project. And then he rang me. He was like, bruv, I want to make it an 8 track. And I was like, what? So I thought it was an EP, bro. He's like, yeah, 8 track. And like he had like these ideas, so he sent me over a few more. And then man, he was just like, he's been a wicked like influence like in the whole thing, like super supportive. And he comes up with heavy ideas, man. Obviously, he's just been in the game so long. Like he was like put Maniacs as a bonus track on the end, and this, and this, and like, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy having it. Like it's almost like a bit of a mentor figure, almost. Yeah. I don't know if he'd see it like that, but from my perspective, definitely, like when he gives me advice on that, I'm like, it's mad surreal because I've got bare of his albums like from back in the day and stuff. And here, like, I have regular conversations with a dude. He's bare humble, and that was that really. From that EP, like, then the stuff with like B started happening, and it's just been like a constant stream of creativity from different angles, which it sort of makes it seem to work even better because you're never just like trying to write along sort of one line almost. B makes me write a certain way. Like when I do stuff with just C.Facts and like it's Right to Speak, that makes me write a certain way. And then the Parky stuff, and then like some other projects going on as well. So it's constantly tapping into like a different way that your mind works to like get stuff done. So the whole thing's just sick, man.
I really rate that, man. I think it's important what you touched upon, kind of all having your respective projects on the go at the same time. So I mean, ultimately you're all creatives and you're all artists in your own right. Do you know what I mean? So you make the music you want to make, and then being kind of, I guess you kind of feel fulfilled in that way that you can kind of channel different offshoots of your creative perspectives and thoughts in different like directions and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what
absolutely,
I mean?
Man.
Otherwise, you just become a bit siloed, or if you're just in a group, you're just known as that guy from a group, and you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, man. It's sick that you're kind of doing your own thing.
Yeah, safe, man. No, it's good. I mean, I know exactly how to vex Facts out at any moment in time because I've got some different projects going on, and he's not overly keen on
There's only one thing. There's one thing. There's one thing. He's making out. No, there's one thing that I don't fuck with at the moment, and I don't like this whole wave of fucking no snare beats. I can't fuck with it.
You just want reverb on the snare, just like.
I just want a snare. I just want a
snare to be there, and also be very prominent.
Whereas I love that shit, man. Like I find it, for me, it's like if I listen to a beat like that, I can just rhyme for days on it. It's just so casual. Whereas obviously the beats Facts makes, like creators, like Who Are They? They make you feel a certain way, bro. You can't write like that all the time. You'd be walking around punching people for like no reason. Like I need.
Yeah, but to be fair, we got bare other shit in the works, which is quite chilled.
Yeah, of course.
I love lo-fi. Yeah. I love all that shit. It's just I'm not a big fan of it, but I respect it all. I do respect it. It's not like I'm saying there's no place for it or whatever. It's just whenever I hear he's done one of those tracks, I'm like, bro, send me the stems. I'm gonna remix it with a snare. That's what, and then I'll listen to it.
But this is my point. This is all I have to do, and he goes. That's it. It's like red rag to a bull. I just like lighting the litmus, innit?
I'm probably being quite diplomatic. Diplomatic about it now.
Being diplomatic, yeah.
Gee, this is a lot of like Griselda beats.
Man, now, like, so heavy.
Yeah. But I mean, they do a lot of that, man. On like Pray for Paris and stuff.
Yeah, but I skip those tracks.
Or like most of them.
Yeah.
No, Griselda though. Like when we're talking like that Beat Butcher tune with Pusha T, stuff like that. I mean, that's the stuff that I'll fuck with. I think like between them, like him, Westside Gunn, and Conway, they got some ridiculous beats, man. There's enough for everyone, I suppose. They've got like, I mean, their catalog's already huge.
It's all like Derringer and stuff. Yeah, I mean,
Alchemist and Derringer and shit. That's what you get.
Yeah,
pretty much.
What are you expecting?
But as you say, man, they've been releasing music for time. I mean, even before. I mean, I know obviously the past like few years they've kind of got a lot more kind of recognition. Not mainstream because they're still far from that, but they released a lot of stuff. They built up kind of a cult following by like releasing certain projects with like random cassettes and stuff, and making it really difficult for people to retain it. Do you know what I mean? I think it was a really clever way that they built their fan base, man. But ultimately, the music is sick. So
man.
So do you know what? I was watching. Have you seen that Rapture program on Netflix?
Yeah,
there's a documentary. I think one of them is Just Blaze, and it like focuses on Just Blaze, and basically he gets to a point where he goes up to where he says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to make a tune with these guys." And when I told people, they were saying like, "Oh, why are you doing it with these guys?" They're like, "Then like you could be doing it with someone much bigger and better and blah blah blah." And he goes and makes a tune with fucking Griselda. And I was watching it. I literally only saw it recently. I was watching it. It was getting me vexed. I was like, what are you talking about? Like they're literally the best thing out of the US right now, and people are like questioning why to do tracks with them. Are you mad?
Statements.
You mad? Like, but it gets me vexed. Like, you got so much dog shit turd music coming out, and people are getting vexed at Griselda. Stupid.
Oh man.
It's what we got to deal with, bruv. Imagine throwing a name for a group out there, and you know how he's going to react, bruv. It's risky. It's risky.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of like 2020 like releases so far, any kind of standouts for you guys? So I've been listening to. I haven't really bumped much except Blue and Exile for the last like couple of weeks. I don't know if you've heard that. Their recent album they dropped called Miles. It's like they did. I mean, obviously their famous album was Below the Heavens that came out like 13 years ago, and they dropped another one I think in 2013 that wasn't the best. It was a little bit more kind of abstract, but this one's just back to the same sound as that, and it's fucking incredible.
I'm trying to think. Like
for me, like a standout one where I know I've listened to a good handful of times without really skipping many tracks is the new Dabbler and Some Guy project.
Yeah.
That shit, man. Like Dabbler's always been like one of the top for me.
Yeah, man. His flow is ridiculous.
Yeah, man. His flow is crazy, and like to to have been doing it for so long as well, and still like I listened to that album and I was like, sounds like he did back in the old LDZ days, and I was like, bro, this album is so sick. So yeah, that for me was a proper
shout out some guy as well, because that guy's just the sound behind fucking.
Some guy's a genius, man. He's a genius.
Crazy.
Not just like production, but just like mixing and mastering as well.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole shit. That's what we're saying though. Like the people that we look to for the music that we really fuck with, they're not bringing you this half-assed product. You know, they're coming with that whole clean product. And so when it comes to all these tracks, it has to be the same. Like we've got to try and reach that level, even if we're not getting there yet. But you know, it is what it is.
Man.
I haven't actually been that hyped up by a lot of stuff this year, to be honest.
No.
I feel like it's been a strange year.
His latest drop was pretty.
I love Coops, man. Coops is amazing.
His producers are Talos, isn't it? Something like Talos.
Do you know what? When I was listening to it, I was like, I don't know who produced his beats, man, but his beats are always so sick. His beats.
Yeah, is that Talos guy? I think.
Talos,
all the CL, is it CL Brooks?
CL
Brooks and Moriarty shit. Everything he's released this year has been hard as fuck.
The Blah Records.
CL Brooks is a G, man. I really rate what he's doing.
Your podcast with him was good as well, man. He seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, man. He's safe. I like his style of rapping is just very like
different.
Different. Man. It's concise though. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not the most complex or technical, but it's just his bars are just delivered in a really it's distinct. You know, it's him. You know, it's him rapping.
Yeah.
Talk about distinct. Yeah. The thing I noticed this because I just found out that you can get all the instrumentals and I'm gassed. There's a Kenny Beats and Denzel Curry project. Unlocked, that shit man. Is fucking amazing. I've been blasting it. Yeah. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Yeah, it's got that same. That's where some of that. It's just that mad, loose, like free energy. He's just going in on whatever the fuck he wants. The sounds, you know, it's experimental almost. But
I need to check this yet. But they like recorded and released that in like a silly amount of time.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, man.
I can't remember how long it. 72 hours.
72 hours, jeez.
That's mad.
No. The EP's recording took place over a 24-hour period.
Yeah,
that's mad.
To be honest, if you've already built the beats, I can see it. I know. Do you know what? We could do that. We should do it.
Already got there.
hey, 20 hours, boys.
That was like that Static Selector live stream where they did like a whole album in one night. That was sick, man.
Yeah, that was sick.
Static Selector's prolific as well, though.
Man. Yeah.
Population Control, sick, I think it was like 2011 or 12 that came out. Do you remember that album with like fucking everyone on it? Like the opening track with Sean P was just like,
oh man, yeah, Sean P.
That's the thing though. He's there now. Like surely anyone that Static calls up and goes, "Let's make some music," is just saying yes. Surely, absolutely anyone. I mean, I hope so. You got to be mental not to say yes.
But we talked about that actually. We did like a little cameo on another podcast recently, and we talked about our favorite releases of the year so far. And Jake brought up Unlocked because he was just like.
It's an amazing project.
In terms of the fact it just came out of nowhere, it just appeared, and it's just like a complete did you see like how it was packaged up and everything else as well? Like it was
with
like
the animated video thing.
Yeah, it had like a video, but it was released on like a games console as well. It was like really kind of obscure.
It's sick.
It's crazy.
It's just wider content, like people who put a bit more into their fucking music. Just like I think a lot of people as well, like a lot of that stuff is just Kenny Beats chopping up weird like random samples and shit and just making strange stuff that you're like, okay, it's kind of cool. And then Denzel Curry just doing that thing he does and just going fucking ham on absolutely everything. It doesn't even have to fit. Like it's just the right energy at the right time.
Yeah, man.
I fucking love that stuff as well. Like people who put little samples, like movie dialogues, quotes and shit, just before they setting stuff up. Like in people get that in the Who Are They track. It just sets it up.
Yeah.
Like, that actually reminds me of another 2020 project was I don't know what the album's called. I think it's called Ask My Brother. It's Ambush, Buzzworld. Anyone know that? It's like hard. I don't know. I don't even know if it's drill, grime. It's just hard. Check that out. Ask My Brother. But it's got a bunch of stuff on it. It's like, you know, there's definitely a lot to be made now that the UK's got all these sounds. We've got drill and we've got grime, we've got Afrobeat, we've got UK hip hop, we've got all of that stuff. And now we've got to the point where people are going, shit, like there's 50 dudes that made a track that sound like my track this week. I need to do something new. And things like Unlocked are the result of people going, oh shit, let's just do something. Just do something new, do something interesting. Those projects last.
I think for me, the I don't even know if it was quite this year, but it was probably last year. Like the album that is my favorite album right now is the PK Roscoe one. I've got to say, I don't, have you heard it, man? Like the beats again. So I messaged Verse the other day. Like I had a little wobble, thinking, "Oh man, am I good enough?" Like I hear sometimes I hear stuff. I'm like, "Oh fuck, man, that is so tight." Production on that. It's like when I hear stuff from DJ Goblin, like it's so tight, and it's so heavy. When I'm listening to this shit, I'm like, "Fuck, am I that good?" Like, and then you start questioning yourself and trying to analyze it and trying to like, I don't know, and then I got to make a beat and make sure it's like as good as I can make it. But yeah, the PK Roscoe album is fucking sick.
Do you know what other one as well? The G-Bag and Ill-Informed album.
Yeah, Respect Your Elders.
It's crazy, bro. G-Bag, man. I could listen to him rap all day, bro. Like the way he like bounces bars around is so heavy, man. It's like proper good like hip hop music, man. On that album, it's a good one.
I mean, over at Ill-Informed Beats as well. I mean,
yeah.
Come on, man, that guy.
Crazy beats,
prolific.
Guys, isn't it?
Yeah. Crazy.
It's a talented family, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Because is Ill-Informed and Leaf Dog Brothers? Is that the one? Yeah, bro. That's
Leaf
crazy.
Dog, he's got was that 2020? He did Confessions of a Crud Lord with.
Yeah,
that 2019.
It was that kid and Leaf Dog. Yeah,
fucking mad album as well.
That's a sick album. Leaf Dog is so good as well. As a producer, he's one of my because he makes those dirty banging beats. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, man.
That, to be fair, that 4 Owls album was quite good.
4 Owls.
Yeah, the RA the Rugged tune was sick. I fucking love
Airstrike, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Because RA dropped his album on the same day, I think.
Yeah.
All My Heroes Are Dead. And
man.
I love RA, man, but like his projects are always like
they're
really fucking long and inconsistent.
Yeah, too much.
Consistently inconsistent, but
that's it.
I kind of give him a pass. Do you know what I mean? Because he's just sick with it, and the audacity to have like the posse cut that he had on there. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, how the fuck are you getting iced tea and like, fucking, it's just insane, man.
It's been a year for that though. Like with the versus battles and a bunch of projects coming out where people are just getting names you just don't expect. Like everyone's gonna hate on it, but the Eminem project that dropped this year, he had like tracks with Black Thought, Royce, like I can't even think, Crooked, Joel Ortiz, like all of those people, all bar after bar after bar after bar after bar after bar. It's just mad.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just good to see. To be honest, it's good to see and people just getting credited for their fucking longevity, just still showing up and blazing tracks.
I hear that, man. Well, I'm hoping that you boys have the same longevity as these guys. And, I hope this is first of many projects. But in terms of so obviously the new video, the new track dropped on Friday. This is a hint at a kind of an LP in the works or an EP. What's next for you boys?
No, definitely got a couple of LPs coming out hopefully pretty soon. But you know what? I really enjoy releasing singles. We were talking about it recently, like just singles. Just they do much better, but it's also more fun. Like just releasing a banger with a video and then concentrating on that one track. I do love it. But yeah, man. To be honest, me and Verse have got literally about 70 tracks we've made, and we can't decide on what makes the album. And we literally I put it together in a spreadsheet, and we look at this spreadsheet, and it just literally like, oh fuck, where do we even start?
Yeah, so we don't.
Yeah. So basically, that's the reason we created last select, so we can start again.
Yeah, basically. But I think like we realised quite quickly with us three, it was never going to be like an EP. I think just
there's no point.
And we touched on it before, just like the speed that stuff gets done, maybe not to the final stage, but like in terms of getting a beat, having the bars ready and sent back and forth to one another, like it just happens too quickly, and it feels like it'd be a waste if it isn't.
We
like,
couldn't
just
make an
an
EP because it's like we'll just have right now. If we said we were going to drop an EP of tracks, we drop what 4 to 6 tracks.
Yeah.
We would still have 2 other full EPs of that length in waiting that are the same, like that occupied the same time and space to us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like that's something beautiful about singles as well. Why we love doing these videos so much is because you just get to properly celebrate that moment of when we were either in studio or just sending back and forth tracks specifically. Like there's a few. I think there's at least a couple tracks that I really want to drop a single still before the full project, just because we're like, I want people to know this on its own first, because it should be, because it's like that. So yeah, there's a lot lined up.
It's nice as well, being like quite comfortable with the knowledge that we've got stuff better than creators as well. Like,
yeah, man.
That's nice. That like it's amazing seeing the reaction to creators, and it's even more amazing knowing like almost got aces in the sleeve. Do you know what I mean? Like from personal preference, when we hear stuff back and we're like, that's bigger
so
than creators.
you've kind of gauged the reaction you've had and think like, oh shit, they're not even ready for this.
Yeah,
it must be a nice feeling.
Yeah, people got way too gassed up of creators.
Don't play it down. Don't play it down. Come on.
Creators was a sick track. We can't we're not gonna say Creators wasn't a sick track, but there's stuff about that song like it basically came from the beat Facts sent in our WhatsApp group or something. I don't even know if we had a WhatsApp group. It was probably an Instagram DM at that point. I sent my verse back whenever it was, and I was just feeling myself off the verse. Like I just finished recording the verse and just carried on. The whole hook was just a little freestyle.
It was a
at the end of the verse. And then I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Facts, but I'm pretty sure at least my vocals on that hook are still that same first take from when I sent the verse back.
Yeah.
Then the whole song came together off of just just a little moment. And so we know now we've got music that we've made with more intent of a similar ilk that's just better. Like it's on a different level. It's more thought out where it's at.
So gas to hear it, boys.
People enjoying Creators was definitely good, but yeah, we've got more. We got more for them.
Come on.
I think we got a good few more that probably better, or I prefer at least. There's one in particular I keep bugging these guys about that I think is just literally just goes off, and it's one of them tunes I look at and just think, fuck, I can't wait to play this out just to see what the reaction would be.
What tunes are you talking about?
Check the levels, bro. Check the levels. We got a few as well. We're trying to look for a couple specific collabs as well, but just got to get it all wrapped up. I think the last album could be pretty soon come, to be honest.
Oh man, gas for that. Well, I'm sure I don't speak for myself to say that I'm really looking forward to that, man. I'm sure other heads listening are pretty excited, pretty gas for that as well. But before we wrap up, is there anyone you want to shout out, anything you want to plug, or anything you want to talk about, lads?
I got to shout out Bluetooth.
Oh yeah, big up man like Bluetooth. Is he going to be in a video? We need him in a video. I don't know, but Bluetooth let us into his home for the last video. We went, where the city forgot for that one.
Yeah,
that's gonna be some. That's gonna be some mad visuals as well. Honestly, like the Creators visuals was fun. The Who Are They visuals are some shit you're gonna want to watch. Just aesthetically, you're just gonna want to see it. It's one of them.
Yeah, man.
Big up Chester as well. I know we've said it before.
Yeah, big up Chess.
Chess has been huge.
Yeah, he was big, man. That whole thing came together. Well, the whole thing essentially came together through Chess with the initial, repost of BX anyway, and you guys, man, and Shotgun.
Yeah, for real, man.
Yeah, big up yourself, because that's been another pillar. And I want to say big up PK Roscoe, because I've been talking to my guy a lot. I don't know if everyone's aware of him, but we've mentioned him because his album's fucking sick. Yeah. All of his music's dope as fuck. He's working out with Matt Quartz, producing out of Canada now. So PK Roscoe, you need to be checking out his music because the guy's hard.
Yeah, Speaking of Canada, we got to give a shout out to Canadian
Dad. Have you seen Canadian Dad? If you don't know Canadian Dad,
have you seen Canadian Dad react?
Passion. That's passion. Man, you can't buy, bro.
He's got the best channel on YouTube, no fucking doubt. This is a guy who self-explained Canadian dad. But like he's just dipping into all this UK hip hop from Task Force through to like new stuff with the 4 hours, like everything. He did the CV, he did Creators. But this is a guy who's getting like brought to tears by how sick some of the UK's MCs are.
Oh man, rate that.
Like he's sat there just like, you could see he's feeling it the way we're feeling it. So shout out Canadian dad and everyone putting on for the culture. UK hip hop first,
Yeah, man. I got a shout out Parky, obviously.
Yeah, for real, man.
Cosm.
Cosm, got to give him a shout.
DJ Goblin. Mott Man as well, man. Yeah, man. Everyone that's been like reaching out and just sort of showing love to the tracks as well, man. It's been nice, man. And we got a lot more shit coming as well. So it's exciting times for real, man. And thank you for having us on, bruv, as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's been long overdue.
I was going to dig out a tweet from like last year. I swear I sent you a tweet, maybe last year, maybe the year before. And I was like, bruv, I'm a big fan. And hopefully one day I'm going to get on the podcast. I was going to dig it out to show you, but obviously I forgot. So,
man. I'm going to obsess over looking for that tonight. But yeah, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm gassed we actually made it happen. Sorry it couldn't be in person. Gas for what's up next for Last Elect. We're Shotgun the Orcs at Shotgun the Orcs, all platforms, YouTube, Spotify, all of that. Oh yeah, so boys, where can people find you on socials? Forgot to ask you. Where can people find your music? Most importantly,
go to Instagram for
Instagram's the one.
Instagram Bxrbarian. It's your boy Barbarian _
Yeah, C.O.N-Vers _W2S. Spotify, just Converse, C.O.N-Vers. And we got the W2S Spotify as well. And yeah, man, all the socials.
Watch out for that. Watch out for that Last Elect stuff.
Yeah, boy.
Soon.
Yeah,
and it's coming for us. There's loads.
For real, man. Yeah, for me, it's the C.Facts _W2S. On Instagram, again, like on Spotify, just look up Last Elect or look up Right to Speak, but also Disfigured record label. Like it's hopefully going to be something. We've got a few things coming in the works there, a few little artists signed, few things in the works, man. Some good stuff coming.
Disfigured records.
Yeah, man.
All right, Disfigured records. Yeah, that's where all the videos get dropped, all the music videos. And big up my boy Skeet with BUFF. That's coming soon. Just big up everyone, man. All the fans and all the listeners, man. Like honestly, the love's been fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
so blessed.
Blessings
to everyone.
All right, sick, gents. It's been an absolute pleasure. Stay
safe, man.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Stay safe.
Take it easy, man. Peace.